Well, if you like talking real estate in Embry Mill, you've come to the right place. I am joined by real estate superstar and homeowner in Embry Mill, Anne Marley Green. Anne, how are you today?
I am doing good. Not loving these cooler temps, but doing great today.
Well, the way I look at it, we're just getting closer to spring. When you're a kid, like months take forever, but the older I get, I feel like they just keep rolling by.
Yep. Yeah. No, this year has definitely whizzed by.
Yes. All right. Well, let's get on the board for the folks, and let's talk about first, kind of what are we seeing in the neighborhood. So I got the snapshot that you sent over to me. So go ahead and explain what are we looking at here for everybody.
Yeah, so this is just the market snapshot for what happened last month in Embry Mill for the sold homes.
Okay.
Highest priced home was $910,000, which we
Okay.
love to see it with a 9 in front of it.
Right.
That was obviously a single family home. And then lowest was 530, which was a townhouse, which is still an excellent price for a townhouse in the neighborhood. And then days on market ticking right about 50. So pretty similar to last month. I think last month we were at 51 days on market was the average. And then we did have one 55 and older townhome. So
Oh boy.
I love those. So
Yeah. I feel like days on market though is always kind of it's not necessarily like it's lying or anything like that. It's just more like there can be outliers, right? Like if I have one that's 100 days and I close in one day, then they're going to be 50 is the average. So It just kind of bounces around. And so everybody's house is going to be different. But the biggest thing is like, you got to get Anne in there to take a look, because if you want it to sit on the market, then you can do that. But if you want it to sell, then let's get in there and take a look, see what we need to do to get it ready. So
yeah. Earliest I can get in there, the better. And actually, days on market, this was an interesting one. So days on market for active homes right now is 95 in our neighborhood, which is the highest I have seen lately. But I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about shutdown and how that's affecting possibly everything right now a little bit later.
I definitely a big part of it, that's for sure. Okay, so the next one that we're going to chat about is rental prices, because a lot of folks that buy an Embry, they end up turning it into a rental property. So tell us a little bit about like what are we seeing, as an active duty spouse, what are you hearing PCS wise? What's the market looking like for rentals in Embry right now?
Yeah, so Embry always does really good in the rental market just because renters get all those great amenities, with, of course, the HOA and CDA wrapped into those rental prices. Right. Ton of townhouses in the neighborhood this year so far that have been rentals. Average price is just over $3,000.
Okay.
Then there are a handful of single family homes that rented as well. One as high as $5,000 I saw.
Wow.
So kudos to whoever is getting that passive income coming in. But the average rental price so far this year is just over $4,000 for a single family home.
I mean, it's great money. And a lot of those folks that have that rental, they're probably sitting on a super low interest rate. So it's positive cash flow. And as we work with so many military buyers, the earlier they can buy and the more they start investing in the real estate part of the game, then the more they're going to have as they approach retirement or stay in 30 years or whatever. So.
Yep. No, it is always great to have someone else paying down that mortgage, so that when you do eventually sell, your equity is just, that much more when the time comes.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and if I can do this correctly, let's go ahead and start talking some real estate for the folks. So let's hit on first the one that you picked for close. So this must be the one that the 910er that you had mentioned. So we actually have some photos to go over. Sometimes they don't let us. So tell us a little bit about this property.
Yeah, so this is a stunning property. We haven't talked about it yet on these monthly videos, but you can see inside. It has literally all the bells and whistles that you could possibly want. So I'm not surprised that this one sold for $10,000 over their last list price. It was only on the market for 8 days, which we know, based off the numbers we loosely talked about so far, that is a great timeline for getting a house under contract. I bet they probably had at least 2 offers in on it. But yeah, I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous patio there. They've got the Trex deck, tree line views. I mean, there is nothing to complain about on this one.
I mean, screened in porches are just so much money too, that I think if you're out there and you're like, oh, I'd love to add a screened in porch, and then you start getting some quotes and you're like, holy cow, is the screened in porch going to college? What is going on over here? So it's pretty pricey.
Yeah, yeah, and I loved what they did here in the last picture, that flex space, because there are a lot of homes in Embry Mill that when you kind of go upstairs, there's like bonus loft area or like hangout space. And a lot of buyers, when I'm touring homes, say like, well, "What am I supposed to do with this space?" You
You're
know, and
gonna
I've
put
seen
a
a lot of
couple
people do
chairs they'll
different
never
things.
use.
Yeah, yeah, but that built-in little office space, that's a perfect idea for a room like that.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, I can definitely see why with, a lot of the pictures that we've looked at already that why it went so quickly. And like you said, days on market only 8. Really, that was one of the ones that was bringing down the trend of days on market. And it really shows why. Now, here's a question for you. So this one, did it list at that price and that's what it got? Or did it list lower and then went up? Like what happened on for folks with a similar type property?
Yep. So it listed at 900,000 and then it went $10,000 over. So I imagine there was maybe a little bit of competition there between buyers on this one, but you can see it's worth, in my opinion, every penny with the upgrades they put into it.
Yeah, great looking property, and having a movie room is huge. So it basically has all the bells and whistles that I would have been looking for. So
Yep.
great property. So all right, now we got one under contract. This is 102 Almond Drive. This is kind of right in that middle of kind of like our single families in Embry Mill. So tell us a little bit about this property.
Yeah, so right kind of at the wicket of where most homes are selling for average prices in Embry Mill. This one is under contract. We talked about it a little bit last month in our video, but it was last listed for 744.9.
Okay.
It has some really nice upgrades in it too. It was only on the market for 5 days, which we know, again, we just talked about days on market a lot this month.
Yeah.
That is a great timeline for these sellers. I'm sure that they got a deal they are very happy with.
Yeah, I really love the white and gold look. It really pops to me, and then when having the kind of a color that really pops, like that blue, right? That just really stands out, and it's not. You're probably seeing it more, obviously, with you going in a lot of houses to look, but is that starting to become a trend that you're seeing, where there's kind of a bold color base with a lot of the white, so it doesn't get just all white flashed out?
Yeah, yeah, no, that is a trend we've seen in the past couple of years. Because there are some people that walk in, they're like, "Oh, everything's white. That's all millennials do when they build their houses. They make everything white with gray walls." So we have seen this two-toned cabinetry come into play the last couple of years. People love it. I think it's a great idea to give a pop of color in without going, overboard. Because we do sometimes as agents walk into houses and they've painted their entire kitchen lime green. It's like, that's a lovely color for you, but we're gonna have to neutralize this a little bit.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, no, that blue is a great little pop of color in that kitchen.
Looks a very nice home. So days on market was quick on this one as well. Kind of right in the middle. So we'll see what it ends up closing for the folks in Embry. All right. So the last one we're going to talk about. I know you are very familiar with this property. This is 176 Verbena Drive, currently on the market for $749,900. Tell us a little about this home.
Yeah, so this is actually one of our viewers that connected with us from these videos. Love to see it, but this is a stunning house in phase one. I mean, immaculate condition. When I came in, there was really not any pointers that I had to give them or things to do. They have put in over $200,000 worth of upgrades into this house. It was going to be their forever home, so they did not, cut the corners on anything. Mm-hmm. Pretty extensive lighting package with dimmers and custom switches, custom pendants. Really went all out in the kitchen to make it, a great gourmet kitchen, great place to entertain. Yeah. And it is in a section of the neighborhood in phase one that backs to trees. And it's one of the most private lots in the neighborhood. Walking distance to all of the amenities in phase one. So really great location, beautiful home. Hoping we get the right buyer in. So excellent opportunity to pick your neighbors. That's right. So if anybody has friends and family that are looking to move into the neighborhood, this is a great option for buyers where they do not have to do a single thing once they move in.
They definitely have excellent taste because it really flows together well. I mean, the living room looked like a picture out of Pottery Barn. So that was that was very nice. But talk to us a little bit about kind of the different phases of the neighborhood. So there's people that are watching our video. You've lived in Embry Mill for a very long time. I was going to say forever, but a very long time, right? So, as folks have moved in, talk to us a little bit about the phases of Embry Mill, kind of the construction of where the importance of the different areas for Embry.
Yeah, so Embry Mill has basically 3.5 phases, technically three, but one is the half, the 55 and older section is over in phase three, which is obviously an age restricted section. Phase one is the first one they built, and typically in master planned neighborhoods like this one that are going to have a ton of amenities and just, a ton of curb appeal, they really jam pack the first phase with a lot of amenities so that when, buyers are going around through the model homes and driving around through the neighborhood, you are just blasted with all sorts of stuff that you can do outside. So phase one has a community pool. It's got the grounds coffee house. It's got tons of tot lots and playgrounds, soccer field, basketball. Oh no, it doesn't have basketball court there, but it does have the community garden, dog park, outdoor ping pong tables. I mean, just everything you could want in phase one is very walkable to all the amenities. And then phase two also has a ton of amenities. It's got the second neighborhood pool. It's got the basketball court, soccer field, more tot lots, but it's a little more spaced out in phase two because it is a significantly larger phase of the neighborhood. And then phase three is a little bit on the struggle bus right now for amenities, but they're working on it. We do have a hot lot, but that is also encompassing the 55 and older community who has their own community center with pickleball courts and bocce and all that good stuff.
Do they check ID at the pickleball court? I'm just wondering.
They are very strict about who it is under lock and key, and we have tried many times to get that combo because it's walking distance from my house and we're big picklers. Mum's the word. They are not giving out that combo.
Not so much. Huh? So, I mean, I'm turning 50 in June, so maybe they would give me a pass, like, a pre-pickleball tour as I'm getting ready to approach the golden years. But, that's a great looking property. And it really just kind of shows the presentation of the house and how important it is to get it ready to sell, because we are in a tougher market. As we know, the government shutdown, as we're filming this, is hopefully about to come to an end. And then we can start getting back to real estate moving and everything kind of moving in the right direction. But it's important to do those things. And they did a great job on that property. And all three of those look like they were great ones that really represent the neighborhood well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Tons of attention to detail in all three of those. They made very smart choices, for the finishes in their homes. And it will be interesting to see how days on market, what those look like in the next 2 or 3 months in our videos, just because during the shutdown, the buyer pool and buyer activity has dramatically slowed. So I think we're all kind of holding our breath to see what happens, hopefully when it opens back up, we just get a ton of buyers coming back in and through. But it has definitely, made some of those days on market numbers skew upwards for our neighborhood. So I wouldn't panic about it. It's obviously an outlier to what normally happens in real estate that's kind of affecting everything across the board. But it will be interesting to see how those numbers skew over the next couple months.
I think so too. So let's, how about some final thoughts on as, kind of Embry's continue to expand it, and how many more years left does Embry have, kind of based on what you're thinking right now?
Well, the very last single family home is being finished right now.
Wow.
So it's in phase three. It was under contract a couple different times, and they had a lot of issues with the foundation and getting construction started on that one. But the very last one is in MLS now. So if you have someone looking for a single family home that's brand new, you get one more chance. In the 55 and older section, there's only one builder left there doing the 3-story elevator condos. I think they're probably going to wrap up in the next year or so. They do not have very much left to go on it at all.
Wow. Hard to believe. I remember when they were, moving some dirt around out there, and look at it now. So.
Yep. Almost done. And then, they're going to move on to the next. But I know we're all excited. The HOA board just turned over to the residents partially last month. So it'll be interesting to see all the great changes for our neighborhood with that as well.
How it goes from there. Well, I'm excited about next month because we're going to have a recap for everybody of kind of what we've seen for 2025 on kind of the real estate market for Embry Mill as we approach into 2026, or maybe 2 videos from now. When we get to our December video, then we'll talk about the recap. I guess it'll be kind of like the beginning of the year. But I did want to tell you and everybody else that is watching, I have received my North Carolina license too. So if you're looking to get a home loan in Florida, Texas, Washington State, now North Carolina, and of course, Virginia, I can help with both purchase and refinance. So please keep me in mind. But Ann, as always, as the neighborhood expert for Embry Mill, it's so great to hop on with you, and I'll see you next month.
Yep. Thank you for having me. See you next month.